Hello everyone, we're going to do a safety checklist for a pre-ride, or pre-ride safety checklist. Just stuff I like to go over before you take the bike out one last time. You're going to need, if you have, a T-handle that has a 10, a 12, and an 8. This is a 17 millimeter socket for your front axle. This is also a 22 Husqvarna FC350. Then you're going to need a 32 millimeter for your rear axle, and then I just use this extension and the Torx bit so we can check and bleed the air pressure out of the forks, and we'll go from there. So first thing I like to do is this panel comes off so we can check our air filter. So we'll pop this off real fast. Alright, so this pulls out the top right here, put it on the bottom, pop out the bottom bracket, and pull it back. Yeah. So it sits in this hole, this hole, this hole, and then it goes over this little lip right here. Pull that off. I just like to make sure my air filter's clean. We're good to go. So then we'll snap this back on. Alright, now we'll put the plastics back on. Slide that up and in. Goes over the bump. Push it into the grommets, and then it has a little nub here. You need to get under the rear fender. That snaps in there, snaps in there. Down there at the bottom. Give it a little pull, make sure it's not going anywhere. We're good. Alright, so now I like to take this Torx bit and loosen this little guy right here. Let all the air out. I don't go too tight with this because it just sits in there with a little rubber spacer. Got a little bit of air in there. And I go hand tight again. Same thing on this fork. This top one right here. Break that loose. This is just to let the air out of the fork so you don't have excess air in your tubes. Alright. You go there. Hand tight on these. Alright. Good to go. Then we're going to go grab the air pump for the forks and do that. Alright, so here's the air pump. One thing to note about this is it's going to read PSI when you turn it on, or I take the battery out so it doesn't die when it's in storage. But when you first turn it on, it'll be PSI. So you got to press the power button once and go to bar, because the measurements on your fork are going to be in bar. So if you put 11 PSI, it's going to be different than what bar is. I think it ends up being more than what bar is. But in this case, I think it is, so it's 10.6 bar for this bike. And I like to run it at 11 because we have a desert tank and I'm heavier than I think the recommended or the sought after rider for this bike. So I'm 210, so with gear on, probably 220. But we're gonna take this little nozzle here, I can't talk, and then we're gonna put it on the Schrader valve, which is this right here, Schrader valve. It's just like a air valve for a tire. And we're gonna go ahead and screw that on. And when you have it far enough on there, you'll hear the air circulate through the hose into the pump, and you should get a reading. This is just something I like to check so the bike doesn't ride like garbage. There we go. Alright, see? So it's been sitting for a while. But we are at 10.4 bar. So we're going to go ahead and pump this up to 11 and take it off. Alright, 10.8, but we're going in the mountains today, so probably want it a little softer anyway. And this is the part that sucks because now you got all that air on the Schrader valve, so it's hard to turn your air chuck. This sucks. Surely somebody would make a tool to get this off easier. That's not pliers or vice grips, because I don't know how much this pump is, but I definitely don't want to buy a new one. There we go. Cool. So we got that on there. And like I was telling you before, one thing I like to do, because these batteries, this pump doesn't turn off. I don't know if it's just my pump or if it's every pump. But what I like to do is I'll just pull this little tab right here on the back and pulls the battery out like this. And the pump stays off while it's in storage, because I got tired of replacing them every weekend when I go ride. On to the next one. Alright, so now we're going to take the 32 with the 1/2-inch drive, and we're going to check our axle nut and make sure that's tight, because you definitely don't want that coming loose while you're riding. Alright, so we're good there. I like to go through here and inspect these and make sure your lock nut isn't backing down. So we're good there. That's nice. Good here. That's not going to come loose. Our chain, I usually do 2.5 fingers on the mud flap here. So we're good. It'll get a little loose, but as soon as the bike's off the stand, this will get a little bit tighter. Then I check all the back sides of the sprocket bolts, because these things are notorious for coming loose. Do a quick run around of all the spokes. You don't want to hit a rock and cave in a rim. We'll do it on this side. Okay, we're good there. Let's go do the front. These ones are good. The ones to look out for, in my experience, are the ones by the rim lock or the ones by the Schrader valve. These ones always get loose. I don't know if it's just my bike, but stuff to look out for. Alright, looks like we're good here. We'll go grab the 17 so we can check our axle. Alright, so 17mm. I'll use a 3/8 drive. Alright. Perfect. Alright. Wasn't loose. And then I like to take this T-handle, because it has all three things, all three sizes. And I'll just go over the casings real fast. Nothing crazy, you're just making sure that nothing's super loose. I'm not really even trying to tighten. I'm just making sure nothing's obnoxiously loose. So we're good there. Alright. And I like to check triple clamps. Same thing. I've already torqued these down before. You're just making sure they're not coming out. Those are good. The axle locks. That's a 10, not an 8. There we go. Those are good. Those are good. This side. Good. Good. Back up to this side on triple clamps. Good. 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 And Husky triple clamps got this weird guy right here. Check him out. Good. Alright, and we did bars last night, so don't have to worry about those. Come over here. Good. 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 Check the water pump. Good. Like I said, none of this stuff should be loose, but best to make sure before you ride, because it would suck to be out in the middle of the desert, or in our case the mountains today, and lose something. Alright, cool. Next, check the oil. This one has a window right here. So in this case it has a little red circle in the middle, so you want the oil level to be right in the middle of that circle. I don't know if you can see it. We're good. Of course this bike's on a stand, so it's not perfectly level, but it's good. I checked yesterday. And then last but not least, I'm gonna check some tire pressure, because we went in the desert last time, so I think these are at like 10. We're going in the mountains today, so probably gonna run 15 and adjust accordingly. Yep, look at that, 9.5. It was sandy in the desert. So we're gonna go grab our pump. There he's up. Alright, so we're at 9.5. Probably gonna put these at 12. I think 15 might be a little much. Because it'll be a little loose up there today. $12 on the dot. I don't know if you can see that. 12. Alright. Put your cap back on. Let's go check out the front. Alright. Same thing. Remove the cap for your Schroeder valve. We're at 10. So we'll put this one to 12 as well. Go. Check it again. Went to 14. Let some air out. I let too much air out. Don't do that. $12 on the dot. There you go. 12. Put your cap back on. Cool. Like that, you're good to go, ready to ride. I mean, I've got friends that think that's a little extreme for every time you go ride, but it's what my dad always told me to do, so it's what we do. Listen to Dad. Alright. So, we're ready to ride. Ride safe, guys.